here who's from Solstice Nightlight Bike Ride, and if you would like to make your submission now rather than wait till 1:40, then would that suit you?
Yes, it will.
Okay, well we'll do that. So that's page 118 of your submissions.
Hello everyone, thank you for your time. I just have quite a simple story to tell. As you know, I'm a cycling advocate and I run this one bike ride each year and help out with cycling. In general, I cycle all around the city because it's really, I can't stand wasting time getting around the city, and cycling is the fastest way to travel around our city. So first of all, I'm impressed to be able to address you on long-term issues too, on the strategy, because that's well beyond the business and political cycle times. And so I just want to tell you about my observations. I recently traveled to Victoria in British Columbia, and Sydney, Australia, and San Francisco as well, and just looked at, I was really amazed at what I saw in terms of cycling, and I think that's also precursor of what we can do here. And mainly, it's all about dockless bicycles and the business set up around those. And I was so struck walking down the streets in Victoria, BC, just seeing bicycles all down the street, ready for anybody with their app to unlock and just ride away on. And the same in Sydney, and the same in San Francisco. And these are all businesses that have started up in the last 6 months or so. And what's striking, I mean, many things struck me about the dockless bicycles. One is that it's a business, right? It's not like the docked bicycles here where they require investment, require somebody to fund them, to get them going. These dockless bicycle companies are coming in and setting up a business that will make a return on investment and get noticed by big players like Uber, who's also making a play in this space as well. And I just really feel like changes can happen quite rapidly in cycling, being picked up and being used in Christchurch. And when I saw this plan that the cycle lanes, new separated cycleways were being pushed out, I thought, wait a minute, that's got sort of a pessimistic model of, or business as usual. I don't think it's business as usual. I think, especially with dockless bicycles, but also electric bicycles, and you also can see all sorts of odd technology for getting one person around on a little electric roller skates or something. There's one person narrow with transport. So it's dramatically different. When I went to Sydney, I used these bikes a lot. I was a tourist. I just go in, and me and my daughter, say, let's travel to the other end of the city. We just hop on the bike, just unput it, use my New Zealand cell phone, hop on, cycle away to where we wanted to go, then just leave the bike there and wander around, go to the restaurant, go see the yachting, then hop on another bicycle that we just find laying around. So that's really a strikingly different model for cycling. Also, just doing a little research on this as well, a lot of these dockless bicycles are really, and the reason Uber, I guess, is interested in them, is they really address a problem with public transport, where public transport people will take a bus into the city center, then have to walk a kilometer or half a kilometer to work. But if there's dockless bicycles sitting there, it's just an amazingly simple and cheap matter just to unclip a bike, bike that last kilometer, and leave the bike. So there's bicycles everywhere. And then once there's bicycles everywhere, what about safety? I mean, we're assuming, I'm can see an easy future in Christchurch because it's such an amazing city for cycling. I mean, I've never lived in such a perfect place for cycling. The weather's pretty reasonable, and this morning it's a bit wet, but flat. You know, we already have rules in place that can't make turns on red lights, that sort of thing, which is a hindrance to cycling. So we're really in a position to follow that top cycling town 2017 mantra at the front there. So I guess what I saw in Sydney, which was interesting, they do have some bikeways there, but there's a lot of places that don't have bikeways, but they've got piles of these dockless bicycles all over the place. So what are people doing? What I observed was that people on a busy street, they start riding the bikes on the sidewalk. So there's all these people maneuvering around the pedestrians on the sidewalk because the roads are just too fast for them. So we can do better than that in Christchurch. We can have we already got plans for safer separated cycleways, and it's a matter of timing. I request and the City Council prioritize the cycling and be able to speed up putting those cycleways in place, because I think we should be keeping pace with the adoption rate of cycling and not lagging behind, because if we lag behind, then we're not only making it less safe for cyclists or tourists who are riding bikes around here, or families who are out on a ride, but they're also just making it not a friendly city for cycling. I think we deserve to have good cycling and stay ahead and really drive home one of the big advantages that we have in this city, which is fantastic. That's my pitch. I hope we can expand the cycleways as fast and keep up with technology, keep up with massive adoption of cycling to help reduce the congestion on our streets and increase safety. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? We had a number of submissions on the, a couple of submissions on Memorial Ave. Do you see that as a particularly problematic road in terms of utilising it for cycling? At the moment, it's sort of at Fendleton Road, you leave the cycleway behind or the cycle lane behind, and you move into an unmarked territory.
Yeah, I try to avoid that because I feel it's a high-risk area for cycling.
Are there any other areas that you feel are high risk? You know, so I mean, it's just useful having somebody who's so passionate about cycling and just to query the areas that we might need to be alert to.
I guess the area down by Trimble, down that way as well.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the worst roads I've seen. Because any place where there's parking and there's a lot of traffic and there's the danger you have to make a choice when the cycling being pushed into traffic.
Is there a planned cycleway in that area? I'm just trying to think if there's a planned one in that area. It's between Addington and it's between Lincoln Road and Martian Road.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't work there anymore.
That's good.
You guys are supposed to know this.
Yeah, no. I can easily find that out. But anyway, Phil.
Yeah, I can just ask you, Ian. Were you really saying that to avoid the problems in Sydney around dockless bikes, that in fact if we put in good cycling infrastructure, including separated cycleways, so that's the best way to deal with the issues that arose in Sydney? Is that what you mean?
Yes, yeah, because people are keen to ride bikes. They just see them sitting there. It's so tempting. I mean, you just have to get down the city block and you're going to pay a couple of bucks. Yeah. So you get on, and then if there's a pathway you can see to ride on, you just instantly get on that and start using it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sarah?
Thanks for that. So you were visiting as a tourist or visitor and using these bikes. Were you aware of people who lived in the city using them as part of their commute, or did it seem to be more sort of during the day, pick something up because you're going somewhere kind of thing?
I really couldn't tell. I think I was using it as a tourist, and I just my reading was telling me more about the business case than why companies like Uber are looking at it to meet that last part.
Very good. Well, look, thank you. That takes us to our lunch break. So thank you very much for coming forward. And we are now adjourned until 1:30. And Oh, sorry, we're adjourned till 1:50. Is New Zealand Rugby not coming?
Well, we're going to have to come a little bit later. We're going to get the other ones to come forward.
Why wouldn't we get them to come at 1:40?
We can, if you want to get that one.
Well, it just seems to me that we'll get,
It's not too far.
I mean, yeah, I just want us to finish as early as we can, yeah, okay. So we're adjourned till 1:40.